From the lady, please, madam.
Mr. Jefferson, what was the name of the gentleman on the committee who was opposed to...
I beg pardon?
What was the name of the gentleman on the committee who was opposed to...
Oh, the name of the gentleman, madam, I should not mention publicly for his detriment here amongst the people themselves. No. We know exactly who he is. He is no longer with us, coincidentally. He has shed his mortal coil. They say that his family may bring him back from England.
Please, sir.
Mr. Henry, you indicated there was one, and Mr. Jefferson corrected you that there are now 3 Hebrews in the colony. Are those 3 somehow less entitled than the others?
For those who did not hear the gentleman, he wishes to know, of the 3 Hebrews, are they less entitled than any other throughout the whole of our country? No.
Then why
They were under previous times, under royal authority. They are no longer. Permit me to explain, sir.
Then why are they not included, sir?
Article 16 reads, in part only, that all men are equally entitled to the free exercise of religion according to the dictates of conscience. That includes even those Hebrews. Let's take the case of these. Let's take the case of the assessment towards religious teaching. Dr. John De Sequeira is the Hebrew here in Williamsburg City. He's the physician of the lunatics at the public hospital. He arrived here in 1772, understanding that he was moving into a Protestant Christian society, and that therefore he would have to abide by their laws. He too knew that he was going to be required by law to attend divine services at Bruton Parish at least once a month or pay a fine. I presume he paid £3 a year in fines. He also understood that he was going to have to pay taxes to support Bruton Parish and only that one church. And he did so. In fact, he might have received greater benefit than most as a result of that arrangement, because many of those tax monies applied to the care of the needy went to the poor indigents and idiots in the public hospital. He was of direct benefit. He agreed by those terms. So presumably have these other 2 that Mr. Jefferson alleges have now come to Richmond Town. Again, as my friend has said in past, we can certainly not expect to wear the same clothes at the age of 40 as we did at the age of 14. We have, by Article 16, complete religious liberty here in Virginia, including all those different non-Christian denominations. I pray that these industrious people will come in great numbers into our country, and at such a point as the numbers sustain it, I would welcome a change to my assessment bill.
Why not put it in from the beginning and not have to worry about changing it?
The gentleman wishes to know why not simply add that right now and not have to worry about future amendments. Sir, I would venture to say you're not from Virginia, are you?
And I would venture to answer, sir, because of what? Politics. Politics, sir.
No, sir, I'm speaking of a fundamental cultural point of identity. Virginians just generally do not like change, radical change. You've heard the old jest, perhaps, sir? How many Virginians does it take to change a broken carriage wheel? The answer? Why change it? Let's just sit here and talk about how great the old one was. Absolute truth to that.
For a place that doesn't like change, we just had a revolution.
From the lady, please.
Gentlemen, I see validity to both arguments, and I appreciate both. However, my question is for Mr. Jefferson. I feel like you have continuously sidestepped Mr. Henry's question as to who will take care of the poor, the indigent, the injured, and those sorts of people, if not the people of the church. If the church is actually declining in size and support, who is going to take care of the poor?
The lady has asked that she believes I've sidestepped Mr. Henry's statement, who will take care of the poor and the indigent under the auspices of my particular bill. Madam, free religion will never be more free than it will be under my bill, so that seminaries of learning may be operated by any church, any congregation as they choose, and poorhouses and asylums for the poor operated by any congregation and any church as they choose. It will no longer be the obligation, if you will, of one particular religion and one particular church, which may, of course, be of mistrust by others not of the same religious opinion. So here, my bill, again, it is the bill for religious freedom.
I understand that, but as he's pointed out already, church attendance, it's all been in decline. So if it continues to decline, who do you expect to fill that void?
Madam, Mr. Henry is trying to incite and provoke a fear by saying that church attendance has been in decline. He is referring, of course, to the churches of England that are sitting here vacant. No longer are the citizens Baptist, Presbyterian, Catholic, who had to swear an allegiance to the Church of England. No longer are the citizens supporting the clergy of one particular church, let alone supporting their poorhouses under the guise of that particular church. Here, all people now have this opportunity, the more so guaranteed by the passage of my bill, to attend their own churches, build their own churches, take over some of these old Anglican churches and recreate them in the guise of their own particular worship and support of their own particular ministers. Again, my bill is the bill for religious freedom. This is not a disassociation of religion. It's a greater liberty for it.
The lady is not only very beautiful, she's very perspective. She has understood that ultimately to care for the poor and the needy, that is going to fall to the central government in Richmond Town. Therefore, all monies are going to be kept in the capital of Virginia and will be disseminated throughout our society, as opposed to, with my plan, those monies being kept locally to see to those who are truly in need. I venture to prophesy that Mr. Jefferson's scheme is going to lead to terrible corruption throughout our country. I wonder, sir, given that we have exhausted our time upon this head, would you consent to having a division amongst this polite company as to
Indeed, a vote to be taken by the people themselves. I would welcome it, Colonel. Welcome it indeed.
Very well, friends. We should wish to have an idea as to which of us has successfully persuaded those of you who are eligible for the vote here in Virginia. Permit me first to remind you of those various qualifications for the franchise. May I have everyone in attendance please raise up a hand? Oh, you ladies, of course, can. You ladies can lower your hands. Now, bear in mind that we are speaking only for the Commonwealth of Virginia. So those of you who are travelers from other places, not citizens of the Old Dominion, please lower your hands at this time. In this year of 1784, you must be white, a white male. So those of you who are Negro, Indian, or mulatto, please lower your hands. In this year of 1784, you must be 18 years of age or older. Beg pardon, 21 years of age or older. If you are not, please lower your hands. In this year of 1784, you must be Protestant. If you are not Protestant, please lower your hands. Finally, we come to the requirements of land ownership. There must be one of the following three that apply. Listen to all three before you determine to keep your hand raised or to lower it. You must own either 50 acres of unimproved land or 25 acres of land improved, meaning it has something cultivated upon it and a dwelling house at least 12 feet square. Or you must reside within our two incorporated cities, those being Williamsburg and the borough of Norfolk, own a lot and a townhouse in that lot. If these do not apply, please lower your hands. I forgot to mention that the requirements of land, you must be unmortgaged. You must owe them out, own them out.
One vote.
Very well, we have two gentlemen. Will you please rise, gentlemen?
Two, okay.
And I will put it to you this way. What would your choices be in terms of the future of our country with regard to the relationship of church and state? Will you ensure that religious teachers of the gospel will continue to receive a moderate contribution from their local parishioners every year, or will you leave everything to complete chance? Mr. Jefferson's plan, And you have secured the day, sir.
And yet, Colonel, may I say, in that rather diminished and slim victory, and a proper representation of the people, were there to be a greater representation of the people, I think we might see more of a divide, and yet who would ever deny, gentlemen, let alone the people, that there has never been a greater opportunity for Colonel Henry's opinion and those who follow him to reign in being spoken freely and to have an opportunity to affect and change the lives of people, if only to do good.
And on that head, sir, we are in agreement, and I pray ye ever may be.
Huzzah! Huzzah!